Well, hello everybody. My name's Alan. I like talking about electric. Got a question in from a guy called Dave, and he says, "Hey Al," he says, "what's the story?" He says, "What is it that kills you if you get an electric shock? Is it the voltage or the current?" Quite an interesting question, and it's a bit of both. And it comes right back to the basics. Everything revolves around Ohm's law. Everything's Ohm's law. So you draw these at school. You've got your little resistor, you've got your voltage, and you've got your current, and then you've got your resistance. Okay? It's exactly the same in a real life situation. You've got a supply, which is 230 volts. Then you've got an unfortunate victim making contact. He's probably earthing out somewhere. He's making a circuit down to the far side of the supply. Okay. A current's going to flow down through him. Okay. And the amount of current that flows around this loop is dependent upon two things. It's dependent upon voltage, which is fixed. It's dependent on the resistance of his body, which can change. Okay, so that's basically it. So the primary driving thing in it is the voltage. So we'll just talk about voltage for a second, right? So voltage pushes the current through your body, right? So you've all seen these before. They're out of your little smoke detectors. There's a little battery. These are the ones that you always put your tongue on. Why do you do that? Why on earth would you do that? Anyway, so it's a 9-volt battery. What it means is when you put it on your tongue and you get that unpleasant feeling that you get, there's basically 9 volts of pressure. 9 volts of pressure pushing current through your tongue. Very unpleasant. If you open up a fuse board at work and you stick your fingers in there, then you've got 230 volts of pressure, okay, pushing current through your body, which then starts getting you into the danger zone, okay. Incidentally, the international community say that the amount of current it takes to kill an average person is 50 to 80 milliamps, okay. That is possible death. That's why when you look through your national rule books, you'll see everywhere you have to fit 30 milliamp hour CDs. That's the reason for that. Okay. The other thing to mention is, again, looking at the rule book, because it's all in the rule book, right? If you look in chapter 37, you'll see a table on voltage bands. And what do you have? You have ELV and you have LV, extra low voltage, low voltage. Line in the sand is at 50 volts. What does it mean? It means that as far as the rule book people are concerned, anything up to 50 volts is extra low and it's not hazardous. But once you go over 50 volts, then you're into LV. So the next time you get a nasty electric shock, don't forget it was only an LV shock that you got. Okay. And finally, I'm just going to mention about the electric shock scenario. In the movies, there's sparks and explosions and howling and everything that goes on. That's actually not what it's like generally. Okay. The body of the human body is about 1,000 ohms or so it's not a huge amount of current flowing through the body. No, what happens is when the current flows through the heart, it upsets the little signals that come from your brain that go down to your heart. Okay, these little signals work your brain from your brain to your heart. And it's called a big word alert. It's the autonomic nervous system. You don't have to sit there trying to remember for your heart to beat. It just does it all the time, even when you're asleep, like breathing. It's the autonomic nervous system. Okay, if you put a beam electric current through your chest, it upsets the signals, and what happens is it knocks the heart out of rhythm. So instead of the heart doing its boom, 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 pumping from one chamber to the other and keeping you going, what happens is the heart sits there and gets confused, and it sits there twitching. What happens then? Blood pressure drops, and you conk out, and you die from oxygen starvation to the brain. It takes 3 or 4 minutes. Very slow death from electrocution. You're asleep, you don't even know what's happening. What do they call this? They call it, big word alert, ventricular fibrillation. And that's why when you walk down the high streets, you see them boxes everywhere now where they've got them yellow and green boxes like you're seeing here now. You open the door and you pull them paddles out like they do in the movies and you stick it on the person's chest. You run together and you stick them on the chest and you go, right, clear, and then somebody presses the button and they give a jump on the floor. It's called a defibrillator. Okay, so I hope that's helped. So until next time, keep it safe, Sparkies.